Yeah, folks, howdy. It's Larry Thompson out here, out the Honeydew Ranch. I tell you what, it's been hollering a Billy Goat in a pepper patch over here this spring. It's been real strange, too, with everybody doing the lockdown thing. Now, last weekend, we got in a truck and headed over to the Mentidoso Ranch. That's old Doc Reynolds' place, a little bit ways down from here. He and his third wife, Crystal, they raise chickens and cattle out there on the ranch, and well, they've been known to raise a little bit of heck now and then too. Some things seem to be opening up a bit, and so he invited me and Bobby Sue to come on over for a little backyard soiree. I figured it'd be a good time to catch up on all the pasture prattle and see what had been happening on his side of the fence. Now, since Bobby Sue, well, she hadn't been able to go to her favorite salon, and get all fixed up. We figured we'd take care of it here on the ranch before we headed out. She said she wanted to put some color and some shine on her toes. I looked around in the shed a bit. We found some old pink paint that we had left over from a wedding a few years ago, and a can of that spray shellac. Now, it took some convincing, but I finally got her to sit still and allow me to go to work. And I have to tell you, I think we did a pretty fine job. We got our hats on after that, and we climbed in the truck and headed over for some of Doc's prized chicken fried steak. Yeah, he's well known for that in these parts. Now, we've all been doing that quarantine thing, so I got to tell you, it was pretty nice to leave the confines of the Honeydew Ranch for a couple hours. And as we pulled into the Mentidoso Ranch, through that big old steel gate post he has, I had to hit the brakes so hard on the truck, I nearly launched Bobby Sue right through the windshield. We seen this flash, kind of a red flash that just ran across in front of us so fast. And Bobby Sue commented, she said she thought it looked a little bit like a chicken, but none of us had ever seen one run that fast before, Now, as it happens, she weren't wrong. Doc Reynolds, you may remember from previous stories, well, he fancies himself to be an inventor. And, well, he's always got ideas that are going to save the planet and make a humanitarian contribution and otherwise make him rich. But he ain't rich yet because, he can't seem to lock onto that one idea that's going to start the big ball of dough rolling downhill towards him. Lordy, I remember that time he showed me his new solar-powered flashlight. It had a little warning light on it that stayed on all the time, so you knew it was charging. He didn't think that one through all the way, I don't guess. And then a few years ago, he went through a waterproofing stage. He created these waterproof tea bags and waterproof bath towels. That was the other thing, yeah. But as I said, he still ain't rich. In fact, true to form, when we showed up for dinner, he started in telling us how he'd improved on his legendary chicken fried steak recipe. He said he'd been online searching for flavorful ingredients on Amazon, and he had come across some dried brown sea sponges. He got them from somewhere down in the coastal regions, I guess, these brown sea sponges. And in fact, he ordered a mess of them, he dried them up, and he ground them, and he put them into the breadcrumbs on his chicken fried steak. Now, I have to tell you, me and Bobby Sue, we kind of gave each other the old sideways gaze. Not sure how that would turn out. But we chatted a bit about how things were going on the Mentidoso and how much we both needed rain and how the quarantine was driving us all crazy. And then Bobby Sue, she held up her hand. She couldn't stand it anymore. She said, "Doc," she said, "we almost ran over some kind of chicken as we came in through your gate. At least I think it was a chicken." And I said, yeah, that thing was moving faster than gossip in a small town. And old Doc, he just leaned back and smiled. And he began to tell us how he'd been working on some genetic experiments that the Mentidoso Ranch was home to the world's first Gaius octopodus. And his smile got even bigger when he had to translate the Latin for me and Bobby Sue, an 8-legged chicken. He said it would help feed the planet. The same number of chickens could feed 3 times as many people. Now, I just shook my head and I asked him if he thought it would taste the same. And he said, well, he'd have to let me know on that because, as it turns out, a chicken with 8 legs is pretty hard to catch. And so anyways, about that time the steaks was ready. And well, I have to be truthful with y'all. Adding those ground up sea sponges to his coating mix for the chicken fried steak may not have been the best idea. Well, frankly, it tasted horrible. But now, it sure did hold a lot of gravy. You know what I mean? Now, after a few beverages and popping that top button on her jeans, we was finally ready to head home. And when we was walking back to the truck, I noticed Bobby Sue was walking kind of tenderly, almost limping. And I asked her what was wrong. She pointed to her toes. Lordy, it was a sight. They was a little swole up, and that one big toe on the left foot looked very angry. Now, I helped her into the truck, and when we got back to the Honeydew Ranch, well, she pulled up WebMD on the internet and sent him a photo. Turns out she's lactose intolerant. Can you imagine? She probably had it her entire life and just didn't know it. Now, we're going to have to go back over to Doc Reynolds and Crystal for ribs and brisket next week, and I think if it don't rain and if the creek don't rise, and I'll be sure to let you know how it turns out. Thank y'all.